Hey traders, Nick Shaheen here. I wanted to recap the day with regards to every day I like to go over my morning notes before the open. I have ranges on which I trade, and I have hundreds of traders that do follow me, and I want to offer you the opportunity to take a peek at how we go about trading the day successfully, having a prepared plan ahead of time as opposed to trying to throw darts. This is something that traders should be doing if you're an active trader, or even if you're just managing a portfolio where you have positions that you're worried about. You need to have, it's good, I should say, to have a plan as opposed to just being reactive. So in front of us, I have a few grids. If the numbers are too small, don't worry about it. I will point them out to you. The What I'm going to do is just going to pop in and out between this, and this is a carbon copy of my morning note that went out before the open today. And I'm going to just address one box at a time. Okay, so let's start with the RUT right here. Okay, and I'm going to show you where the RUT is on the screen. It's right here. All right, so this is the RUT, and my note said 1090 is the start of support, and we're likely to move up to 1100 quickly after the open based on the pre-open futures, and then creep into the 1100 territory, which is resistance, and it starts really at 1110, and it gets much stronger at 1120 and then climbs exponentially from there through the 1120 and 30. Then really strong headwinds at 40 and 50. Where 50 looks like a wall. On the downside, there's a gap from 1080 to 1050, although we didn't have to worry about that today for the next support. So the point is that what do I do with this information is I don't chase once the levels are there. So if I'm not on board here and I see it approaching 1110, I'm less likely to chase it from here. And the end result is that it closed at 1116, which is exactly in the middle range between 1110 and 1120, where we thought the resistance is going to be. So you know how to, if I know this information ahead of time, and I've known that it's pretty reliable, and it's like this every day almost, I can then set up my trades and manage my trades. So if I have something that's taking heat up here, a short, like credit call spread or something, if I'm holding puts, then I know when the pain is likely to abate and when to bail and when to say, okay, no, you know what, it's past all my levels now. My trade is broken. I have to get out of it. So information like that is really helpful. Plus, there's a whole bunch of write-up as to theoretically what's going to happen with the market that's above it that you don't see right here, but it's really, really thorough and as thorough as I can make it. Okay, since I have it right here, this is Google, right? And I've been pro Google for a while, and the levels have held up this week. I mean, to the penny, especially on the downside earlier in the week. I said it should open around 540 and hit into resistance at 540. I said 550 is the next wall. Anything in between is small resistance. I said 520.25 is support. Earlier in the week it was 505, and that held it also. So then on the way down, 530 to 540 should be support. Once we've gone above it and on the way down, and sure enough, it failed at 550. This is the Goog, not the Goog L, and then it's still between 540 and 550. Incredible move for Google, love it. But the plan worked out perfectly. Apple, everybody's beloved company. I'm gonna have to move it this way. Okay, this is Apple. And this is Apple. Hopefully you can see this. More resistance and support in Apple, and it's incredibly in facing incredible resistance based on the open interest this week, and it's running up against it. 105 is the last line as far as walls, and then there's a gap until 107, and 107 is really even bigger than 105. So I'd be very surprised if it takes out 107, but I'm not standing in front of it, and I've been saying all week, you do not short it unless you want to do puts, and I did puts for a long shot just in case this comes true and it wants to come back towards 100. I bought the 103 puts as a lotto ticket, $100 that could pay big time. So that's how I'm playing the Apple trade, and that's how I'm managing my Apple. Look at where it failed, 105.05, the last line of resistance before the big wall. The Qs, let's make it bigger again. 96 strong support. 96.5 and 97 are neutral, so bulls can get there quickly. 97.5 and 98 small resistance, but not major. It goes through 98. It's like a rubber band. Goes to 98.4, let's call it, and then whoosh down to here, and then here we had a headline that took it way back down. Anyway, it closed at 98, just under 98. So between 97.5 and 98 is the resistance, and that's exactly where it closed. Okay, so that's how I would have played. It would have helped me to manage any positions I have in the Qs, and you can extrapolate to trade the NDX this way, and the data is also available, but not in as plentiful as the Qs, bigger volumes. The SPY, everybody's favorite. I said that based on the open, we were going to get to resistance pretty quickly, and then we'll see how we handle the resistance. 194 is a magnet, but it will act as support on the way down. So because we're going to be above it on the way down, it's going to help us support it. And anything higher is pure resistance. Where 196 and 197 are the strongest, and it hit the 196 and couldn't break that by much, 20 cents, and then shot it right back down. Then I said earlier, right, 195 is we're going to break it, and 194 is going to hold support. So 195 also becomes somewhat of a support level, and we closed between 194 and 195, so we're still good to go for tomorrow, and see the range is still alive for tomorrow. By the way, this range I almost set exactly at the beginning of the week. I should have pulled that off also to show you how it plays, even if I don't update it throughout the week. It's almost always static. So do I have the SPX here somewhere? I do, but so I don't make the window smaller, I'm going to do this, SPX. Alright, where is my document? There it is. Okay, that was the SPX. I said we're going to open close to yesterday's high of 1950, which is a magnet, and also resistance. Anything above it is pure resistance. It's not formidable, each one, but everything together is pure resistance. I said 40-45 is small resistance band, which on the way down acts as support, and 1925 stronger magnet also acts as support on the way down. So let's forget about the downside because we didn't even worry about it today. 1950 pure resistance. It got up to 1960-62 on incredible buying spree. I mean, this here was, the chug was insane, and then came back down to close what 1950.82. so levels holding. That is what I have to offer every day, and I do take requests on other tickers. It depends on what the market bears. So what I want to offer you here is a lesson in not trading without a plan. You have to have a plan, and if you don't have a plan and you're trading heavily, then one is open to just being completely reactive. So how do I know when to close if the SPX, let's say I'm short SPX via credit call spreads or via long puts and I'm getting killed on this run up? How do I know when to close it if I don't know when it's likely to start faltering? And if it doesn't start faltering where I think it's going to falter, guess what? My thesis is broken. I better do something. I better turn it over. I better sell some puts against it to turn into a spread. I better get bullish and sell the puts higher. I better turn it into a credit put spread. I better do something. So I need a plan in order to pay my bills. If I'm long Apple via Apple stock, I need to know where it's likely to go. If I'm actively trading Apple, I definitely need that. If I'm actively trading the SPY, I definitely need that. In other words, everybody needs a plan. You can't just trade it willy-nilly. So my offer here today, and let me see if I can pull it up. I'm going to give you a free week of my newsletter. So if you're interested, send me an email at sellspreads@gmail.com. I don't resell lists or anything like that. This is what I do. I do this all day. I have hundreds of people already taking advantage of this, and I'd like to offer you the chance at taking a peek at it and see how it works out. If you think it's accurate enough, then you can ask for extending it at whatever periods of time you'd be interested in. I write this every morning. I have an evening write-up, complete evening write-up. As a matter of fact, most times it's also a video write-up. So send me an email at sellspreads@gmail.com, and I answer every request. and we'll go from there. Nick Shaheen.